Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Chris Walters. I'm a principal sales engineer with Denodo Technologies. And today I'm going to be discussing how to build your Gen AI applications on a solid data foundation powered by Denodo. I'm going to start off with a couple quotes. According to Gartner research, 70 to 85% of unsuccessful AI projects fail due to data challenges such as poor data quality, distributed data silos, a lack of relevance in the context of their data. Those are some challenges that organizations are having. Then this came across this quote in CIO magazine that says, trusted, secure, and real-time enterprise data is the electricity that powers AI. So now how does Denodo provide that solid data foundation that drives AI success? Okay, so we're all used to AI applications that are built on large language models. Those LLMs are populated on publicly available data on the internet. What that's missing, of course, is the context of your organizational data. Data in different cloud environments, on-prem data sources, external vendor APIs, SaaS applications, for example. So wouldn't it be great if we could have the same capability that we're used to with the Geminis and chat GPT type applications, but using the context of our organizational data? So that's where Denodo comes in. Denodo provides a unified point of data access, unified point of security and governance, which enables you to, for example, combine data from a lake house in the cloud with some operational data in an on-prem data source, combined with a vendor API, being able to consume that data without replication, creating pipelines to move the data into one physical source. That's what Denodo enables. You just build a simple semantic layer which points to the data sets in these underlying sources, and now that provides a single point of access for all of your data. And so now we have a Denodo AI SDK, which provides that powerful capability to AI applications. So it's a set of REST web services which implement the RAG, retrieval augmented generation pattern for providing AI applications with data from your organization. So now I can, invoke some of the methods in the AI SDK with a particular prompt, and based on that prompt, we'll then determine what data sets within what sources and what attributes it requires to answer that question. Then it formulates a query, which is sent to Denodo. Denodo then, devises optimal execution plans to retrieve data from these multiple sources in real time, return that data to the LLM, and again, using the RAG pattern, then generates a response to return the AI application. So that's the power of the combination of the Denodo platform and the Denodo AI SDK. So a little bit more about Denodo. We are, in a phrase, a secure, unified real-time data delivery platform. It enables creating a logical data fabric, which sits between various sources of data, regardless of where they may exist, and then we make that data accessible to various applications through various consuming mechanisms, such as AI agents, AI applications, which is, kind of relevant for this discussion. An important concept to understand is within Denodo, we don't store any physical data. We just store metadata, such as technical metadata of how to connect to a source, whether it be a REST API or a database, or in addition to the technical metadata, also the semantic contextual business metadata, which is really important when it comes to talking about the accuracy that we expect from our AI applications. The more business context that we have around our data, that helps to improve the accuracy. So that's a very important concept to understand and how Denodo enables that. So let's look at Denodo in action. And let's give a demo scenario. I'm a bank. I have data distributed in multiple on-prem and cloud systems, and I need to provide a central point of unified data access to support AI applications. So let me go into our Denodo Design Studio, and this is what I would use to essentially create my logical data fabric. It enables me to connect to multiple sources, SQL sources, NoSQL, REST APIs, SaaS applications, basically anything that you can get data from that provides an API, you can consume within Denodo. So if I look at example here, I have some data in a Postgres database. And so I'll specify my connectivity information of how to get data from that source. And then I'll point to my technical metadata of this is the data that's relevant for me within the source, bank account information, customer loan, payment information, all that is what is the metadata which we have, which essentially form the basic building blocks of our data foundation. So once I do that from all the different sources, again, whether they be REST APIs or SaaS apps or databases or lake houses, you can have those basic building blocks of your data foundation. Once I have that established, this enables me to create AI ready data products, which may combine data from those multiple sources and make that accessible to external applications. So here's an example of a data product called Loan Analytics. And see, it has the contextual definition of what this view is. So it provides a description at the entity level, as well as what does each attribute means. And so to reiterate, the context and the metadata around what each of the data sets represent, what each attribute means, is very important from the context of being able to provide accurate results in AI. And so you can enter those manually, or you can use the Denodo assistant, which can then generate that description. So it would essentially send the metadata for this view, the attributes and what have you, and it's going to send it to a large language model. And so based on what you specify there, it's going to generate a description and send back, which you can then modify as need be. But that adds the proper context, which is again very important for the accuracy of AI. So that's how I would build my basic data foundation to complement AI applications. So now once I have this in place, I want to speak to my data, and that's where the AI SDK comes into play. So I'm going to navigate into it's a sample chatbot application, which uses the Denodo AI SDK, which enables me to speak to my data. So I can ask something in natural language, like what is the outstanding account balance? And once I do that, it's going to generate, the vector embedding for this question, and then searches against the vector database in Denodo, which contains the vector embeddings of all my metadata, all the metadata surrounding all of my different views, different attributes. And once it does that, it determines what view can answer this question and what attribute can I get that information in. And so it formulates a query, sent to Denodo for processing, and it gives an explanation of what it did. It also returns these related questions, such as like, what is the average account balance? So I'm going to select that and go through the same process, create the vector embedding of this question, search against the vector database for determining what views and what attributes enables me to answer that question, sends the query, and here's our result set. So if you notice, some of these responses, such as this is more like, what happened, when did it happen? Those are more simple questions. But you also see this other question that comes up in orange. So what are the factors influencing the variation in account balances? So that's a new capability of the AI SDK called Deep Query. And that's similar to, deep research, which OpenAI and a few other vendors have, which is much more complex analysis. So rather than the simple, what and where, what and when type of questions, these are more complex how and why questions that require much more detailed analysis. So I'm going to jump back here to slideware for a second. And this is the deep query flow. I ask a question that requires multi-step, multi-source analysis. A deep query agent then determines a multi-step plan. This may involve dozens of different queries to different sources. And it fires off these different queries, gets a response, and then using a reasoning model, ultimately, creates a report with the details of that analysis. So that's something that can take several minutes to run, just like if you're using deep research. So we're not going to have time to do that in the context of a 10-minute demo. But luckily for you, I did it in advance. So if I jump here to this tab, and so this is a question I asked: how can this bank improve profitability by 50%? And so it goes through a detailed analysis, looking at the data that it had to analyze. And it gives a summary of key findings, complete with different graphs and charts to support the conclusions that it came up with, strategic recommendations, very deep, lots of details around exactly what it did, how it did it, all the different queries that were run to support your analysis. All right, so let me go ahead and land this plane in the remaining time that we have left. All right, so these are 4 points I want to leave you with about the unique value that Denodo provides for enterprise AI as the main takeaway. First of all, real-time access, which enables combining analytical data sources with operational sources with external APIs, which augment the foundational knowledge in LLMs. You don't have to create pipelines to replicate and move all the data into one source. Denodo enables you to consume that in real time. AI needs to move at the speed of business, and Denodo enables you to do that. Unified access to all an organization's data across disparate sources and on-prem cloud environments, and also in a secure manner. Access the organization data, leveraging your existing authentication and authorization policies. And lastly, to improve the accuracy of AI, the semantics around the semantic metadata that provides contextually relevant business information to improve AI accuracy. So those are the four main points, which is unique by Denodo that no other vendor can claim. So this is our unique value proposition. So you can look at the call to action to learn more and to get a longer demo. So thank you for your time.